Hey folks, today we are looking at French toast, an easy and delicious breakfast. I missed the plate by a wide margin. Good thing that this episode is sponsored by Bounty Paper Towels, who are here to bring you quick and easy recipes, quicker picker upper style. These French toast recipes are an easy way to up your breakfast game, and with Bounty, you'll have the kitchen cleaned up quickly too. Let's get down to basics. Alright, so first thing we gotta do is talk bread, and no matter which kind of bread you decide to use, try to go for a loaf that is unsliced. Why? So we can lop off our own big custom badass slices. After all, they say that thick French toast is a sign of virility and industriousness. Well, maybe nobody says that, but I do. And then we have to talk what kind of bread, which I have in order from most to least basic Babish. First, your industry standard white country loaf, followed by a nice, shiny, bubbly, eggy challah, followed by a buttery and decadent French brioche, and a positively sinful chocolate babka. No matter your bread of choice, we want to slice it nice and thick and place it on a wire rack set in a rimmed baking sheet, where we're going to leave it out uncovered overnight until it gets nice and stale. Or if you want French toast more like right now, you can set your oven as low as it will go and drop the bread in there for 15 to 20 minutes, flipping halfway through, until it's nice and dry but not totally mummified. Then once you've let it cool completely, it's time to talk about the other essential part of French toast, the custard, the most basic formula for which calls for 1 1/2 cups of whole milk, the contents of 2 large eggs cracked with shells discarded, 3 or 4 tablespoons of granulated white sugar, 1 or 2 teaspoons of real vanilla extract, and a half teaspoon each of ground cinnamon and nutmeg. Whisk that together until homogeneous and no streaks of egg remain, and there you have it, the absolutely no bells and whistles French toast custard, which is totally fine, but if you want to up your levels of decadence and or deliciousness, here's a few things that you can do. First, swap the milk for half and half, or if you're feeling really crazy, heavy cream. Second, swap the 2 whole eggs for 3 to 4 egg yolks, known the world over for their egginess and yolkiness. Swap the 3 tablespoons of white sugar for dark brown sugar. Keep the cinnamon the same, but swap the pre-ground nutmeg for some freshly grated stuff. And lots of it. I want this custard tasting like eggnog. Change out vanilla extract for some vanilla paste or 1 scraped vanilla bean, and some optional but very welcome add-ins are a little bit of citrus in the form of the zest of 1 lemon or orange, and a little splash of the brown stuff of your choice. Bourbon, rum, brandy, cinnamon peach schnapps, I don't know. Once you've got your custard whisked to homogeneity and at the ready, it's time to pour it into a cake pan or pie plate for easy bread dunkage. Grab your naturally staled or oven-staled bread of choice, drop it in your tiny whisked custard, and let it swim for 20 to 30 seconds on each side so it's completely saturated but not falling apart. Soon as it's soaked through, we're headed over to the stovetop where we have 2 tablespoons of butter a-sizzling in a non-stick skillet. We're keeping everything over medium heat, dropping in our custard-soaked toast and letting fry for 3 to 5 minutes on each side until golden brown and puffed and crisp and just wonderful all over. Once your French toast is sufficiently French toasted, it's important to let it rest on a wire rack set in a rim baking sheet in a 350-degree Fahrenheit oven for about 10 minutes. This is going to allow the custard to firm up and the exterior to remain nice and crisp, so we end up with the perfect texture. It's also going to keep everybody warm while the remaining batches continue to fry. Once you're done, stack them up, top with butter and drown in maple syrup. And there you have it, thick cut, crisp on the outside, rich and creamy on the inside, buttery, syrupy, perfect French toast. But what if you want even more perfect French toast? Well, try a richer, sweeter bread like challah or brioche. Or if you really want to earn the title of Babishian brunch beast, reach for some thick slices of chocolate or cinnamon babka. These guys are already quite sweet and rich on their own, so rather than slathering in syrup, I wholeheartedly endorse bringing a bit of tang to the party, whipping together 8 ounces of room temperature creme fraiche or cream cheese with 3 tablespoons of sugar and a pinch of salt. This brings a nice funky acidity to all the sweet, and when topped with a decorative strawberry, is as social media ready as it is delicious. We're talking eggy, buttery, chocolatey, creamy, sweet, and tangy in every bodacious bite. Now, as easy as these French toast recipes are, they can get easier. Probably the easiest way to enjoy French toast is with French toast casserole. We're going to start by cutting a large loaf of the bread of your choice into 1-inch cubes. I'm going with brioche, which I could just eat this for breakfast. But we're not going to do that. We're going to use a Bounty paper towel to generously butter a casserole, making sure to get all those nooks and crannies before filling with our bread cubes in this recipe inspired by simplyrecipes.com. Then we're making our custard same way as before, but this time using 5 whole eggs, which is going to help give our casserole a little bit more structure. We are then pouring all the custard evenly over the bread cubes, making sure that every last little one is saturated, and just for good measure, giving the whole thing a awfully messy toss to ensure custard distribution. Grab your Bounty and wipe down the edges of your casserole, and at this point you can either cover and refrigerate overnight for make-ahead convenience, or it's pretty much ready for the oven. It just needs a couple extra topping bona fides. In a small bowl, we are combining 4 tablespoons of melted butter, 3 tablespoons of brown sugar, 1 teaspoon of cinnamon, and a pinch of kosher salt. Tiny whisking until homogeneous, and then setting aside so we can roughly chop a few handfuls of pecans, however you say them, scattering those over the top of the casserole, and then drizzling evenly with our brown sugar butter mixture. This, along with a few generous pinches of Turbinado sugar, are going to ensure that we get a nice crunchy crust on top. Now this guy's headed for a 350-degree Fahrenheit oven for 35 to 45 minutes, rotating once halfway through baking and removing once golden brown, crisp, and puffed. But don't dig in just yet, this guy needs to rest for at least 10 minutes before slicing and serving. Go ahead and grab yourself a corner piece because you made this and you get to have the best part. Plate it up and top with the requisite butter and maple syrup, making sure to keep it on the plate this time. And there you have it, the quickest and easiest French toast option for a crowd or just a few extraordinarily hungry individuals. I hope you guys give this one a try for yourselves, and I hope, like me, you do a few jumping jacks after. Thank you again to the Quicker Picker-Upper for sponsoring this episode. Stay tuned for next week where I'll be bringing you quick and easy one-pot meals, once again inspired by my trusty kitchen tool. I'm proud to partner with Bounty, who, together with Feeding America, is helping to provide 10 million meals to people in need. Head to the link in the description for more info.